Have you ever hired someone you thought was a perfect fit only to watch them leave just a few months later? It's frustrating, right? You spend weeks recruiting, training, and onboarding. You think you finally found stability, and then suddenly you're staring at another resignation email. That constant cycle of hiring and losing people isn't just annoying, it's very expensive. Replacing an employee can cost anywhere from 0.5 to 2x their annual salary in high skill or difficult to fill roles. Though for many positions, especially non-executive or lower wage roles, the cost is more often in the 20 to 30% range of salary. For a small business or startup, that can be the difference between hitting your next milestone or stalling out. I'm Erin from Paired, and today we're going to uncover the hidden reasons behind high turnover, what's actually your responsibility as a leader, what isn't, and how to make smarter decisions so your people stick around longer. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why employees leave, but you'll also have practical ways to prevent it without adding stress to your already full plate. So let's start with the big picture. Why does turnover happen in the first place? A lot of founders assume it's simple. People leave because they've got a better offer. And yes, pay plays a role, but it's not the entire story. Turnover happens for two main reasons: push factors and pull factors. Push factors are things inside your company that make people want to leave, like lack of growth, poor management, and unclear expectation. On the other hand, pull factors are outside opportunities that lure them away. So this includes that higher pay rate, greater remote work flexibility, a company culture that they connect with, or a brand they admire. Today, the option to work remotely or have more flexible schedules is often as important as salary in attracting talent. All right, so here's the thing. You can't control the pull factors. If Google offers your engineer double the salary, that's not a fight you're gonna win. But you can control the push factors. And often those internal issues are what makes employees even open to leaving in the first place. Now let's zoom into on the part that stings. What's actually your fault? Turnover tied to management or culture is usually within your control. Employees don't leave jobs, they leave managers, processes, and broken promises. Here are a few areas that are worth reflecting on. Lack of clear expectations. If people don't know exactly what success looks like, they'll get frustrated fast. Vague job descriptions or moving goalposts are a recipe for burnout. Another one is no path for growth. Even if you're a small company, people want to know that you're building towards something. And if every day feels the same with no challenges, they'll start scrolling on LinkedIn. Poor communication. If leaders don't give feedback, don't listen, or don't share the why behind decisions, employees are quick to feel disconnected. Toxic work habits. Expecting people to always be on, celebrating overwork, or ignoring signs of burnout, startups move fast, but if people feel used up, they'll walk. These are tough truths, but here's the good news. They're fixable. Setting clear goals, creating even a simple growth plan, and prioritizing communication can cut turnover drastically. What isn't your fault? Not every resignation is on you. Sometimes turnover is just life. People relocate for family reasons. They change industries entirely. They go back to school. None of that means you failed as a manager. And then there are industry dynamics. In certain sectors, turnover is naturally higher because workers have lots of opinions. For example, retail or customer service roles often see annual turnover rates of 60 to 80%. If you're in that space, the reality is you'll always deal with some churn. Recognizing what isn't your fault matters. It frees you to focus on the things you can control instead of wasting energy trying to fix what you can't. The hidden costs of turnover. Turnover isn't just about money, it affects the soul of your business. So when someone leaves, you don't just lose their output, you lose team morale. Other employees see that person walking out the door and start wondering if they should too. Knowledge leaves with them, slowing down projects, customers notice the disruption, and here's something founders underestimate. Constant turnover makes it harder to attract new talent. Candidates do their research. If they see a pattern of people leaving your company quickly, they'll hesitate to join. So turnover isn't just a back office problem, it's a brand problem. Connecting with your team. Employees don't expect perfection, they just want honesty and effort. Sometimes the best thing you can do is sit down with your team and ask simple questions. What's one thing I can do to make your job easier? Where do you feel stuck right now? And what's one skill you'd like to learn this year? You don't need a giant HR department to reduce turnover. You just need to show people that their voices matter and then act on the feedback you get. How to start reducing turnover today. So what can you do right now? Audit your hiring process. Be honest during interviews. Overselling the role leads to disappointment. Set 30, 60, 90-day goals. Give new hires a roadmap for success so they see progress from the start. Check in regularly, not just about tasks, but how they're feeling. Celebrate wins. Recognition doesn't cost much, but it keeps people motivated. These small habits, repeated consistently, can dramatically lower your churn. The role of outsourcing and global talent. Here's another angle a lot of founders overlook. Sometimes the best way to fight turnover is to rethink how you're building your team. And that's where overseas hiring comes in. Hiring locally can be expensive and competitive, and retention is often harder. But when you tap into global talent in places like Latin America, Indonesia, or the Philippines, you access skilled professionals who are motivated and loyal, often at a fraction of the cost. And this is where Paired gives you an edge. At Paired, this is what we do every single day, finding the right people who make a difference in your business. We cut through the noise so you can only see candidates who are truly ready to deliver, all at a fraction of the cost of a local hire. And we back it with a 90-day replacement guarantee, which takes a lot of the risk out of hiring. Instead of constantly reacting to turnover, you can build a system that's proactive and predictable. Why this matters for founders. Your biggest asset isn't your product, it's your people, and turnover eats away at the asset faster than anything else. So by understanding what is in your control, addressing push factors inside your business, and building smarter hiring pipelines, you can give yourself stability. And when you combine that with a vetted overseas talent, you don't just fill roles, you create a foundation for growth. Remember, you don't need a giant HR department to hire like one. With Paired, you've already got the system in place so you can focus on running your business. So let's recap. Turnover isn't always your fault, but parts of it definitely are. You can't stop life events or big competitors from pulling people away, but you can fix unclear expectations, lack of growth, poor communication, and toxic habits. The hidden cost of turnover is more than money. It's morale, reputation, and momentum. But by connecting with your team, being proactive, and exploring global hiring with the right partner, you can break the cycle. If you want to explore the shortcut, check out the link in the description. Paired connects you with vetted overseas talent and backs every hire with a 90-day replacement guarantee so you can grow your team with confidence. This is Erin from Paired. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's been your biggest challenge with turnover? Drop it in the comments and let's keep the conversation going.